So my name is Kate McGuire. I also go by Kaye. The Kaye thing is from a previous marriage, and in that time I became a reporter like 20 years ago. And so I used the Kaye name as my byline in my journalism career. And some people in town know me as Calamity Kate on XRAY FM. Somehow, like right before I got into the early rock and roll, like the Stones and the Beatles and the Who, my mom sold all of her Stones records at a garage sale and like completely broke my heart doing it. I wasn't into it at the time, but like, you know, 6 months later, I'm like, Mom, didn't you used to have a bunch of Rolling Stones records? They're kind of cool. Like, I'd like to listen to them. And she was like, oh, I sold them all for like 25 cents each, you know? And I'm like, great, well, at least you still have your Beatles records. Can I please bring them into my room so I can have them? So this is the only Beatles record I ever actually bought. Everything else is stuff that she had. And, you know, the Beatles, I mean, it's the Beatles, right? And wrote her name on, by the way. I don't know if anybody has parents who wrote their names on their records, but my parents both wrote their names on their records, which is totally a really endearing, very cute thing. But I bought this one because I needed to have Drive My Car. Obits are, to me, the best band that Rick Froberg ever was in, and pretty much everything he's ever done I've loved. Probably would be familiar with him through Hot Snakes or Drive Like Jehu. Those are his better known bands. He, in Hot Snakes and Drive Like Jehu, I think was kind of overshadowed by John Reese, who people completely adore. John Reese from Rocket from the Crypt, you know, who is awesome. I just, you know, I've always gravitated towards the Rick sound. And I think he's just got this awesome, angry, like very heavily blues steeped guitar sound, but it's like the blues gone through, I don't know, a cheese grater. Or it's just got it's angry. I know a few people have heard this record before. I'm not telling anybody anything new. Greatest Hits Volume 1, does anybody listen to that? What is it? Come on, this is what you listen to, right? This is like the gateway drug of Dylan for me. Lay Lady Lay, like you listen to that and you're like, what? Is that Froggy sound the same guy who just sang that other song? Like this guy, what is this? You kind of have to get your palate acclimated a little bit to him. And once I did, it was kind of like trying something that you're like, I'm intrigued by this. I don't know if I like it yet. It tastes funny. But after a few more times, you realize it tastes amazing and you're gonna keep eating it for the rest of your life. And that's what Dylan is. Neil and Bob are the two guys that I have the most records of. And I consider them my favorite. Let's go upstairs. I think totally underrated. This band should be known by so many people as hardcore, you know, emo, proto-emo, I don't know. It's a couple dudes who played in Generation X. I mean, I think that's what throws people off, because they're like, oh, Generation X, Billy Idol, like, who cares? And it's like, well, number one, I do like Generation X a lot. There's like this apocryphal tale of the Empire record floating around the Discord house and floating around like SST kind of scenes. I have no idea if it's a really well-written pop, rock and roll kind of thing. It also has the extended feedbacky kind of stuff that the Discord sound is known for. This is a terrible copy of this because the original version of this record has an amazing logo and it's like black. God knows why this awful psychedelic cover was made for this, because it does not suit the record at all. I think I'm pretty sure this is my favorite punk rock album ever. I just think the whole thing all the way through is great. Yeah, all the songs kind of sound the same. You know, just kind of like classic things that somebody in their young years would care about and want to think about. Band for me in my life has been the New Bomb Turks. I love their early stuff especially. This is actually the Turks and the Helicopters, 2003 or 4 or 5 or something. Whenever the Helicopters were still good, that's when this photo was taken. I've had that photo just sitting wherever I have records because it's just a fun memory for me. That's what I'm thinking you! So the show's called Vinyl Retentive, and I think it's funny that I'm on it because I'm kind of, I mean, if the reference is to anal retentive, I'm kind of 180 degrees from that when it comes to my records. I don't have plastic sleeves on everything. I don't go crazy about whether or not something's a first pressing. Yeah, I love the ritual of vinyl. I love opening a record. I love all that stuff. I love the way they sound. Yeah, they sound better than CDs. They sound better than digitized music, you know. I hate cassettes. Like, yeah, I think it's kind of weird that there's this kind of embrace of consumerism when it comes to records. It's not like I'm from the DIY scene, but I embraced it so much as a person growing into my music love, and that's so anti-consumerism, and it's so anti-commercial, and it's so anti-buying stuff to buy stuff. There's this great analogy, speaking of my love for baseball. There's this dude who has written at least one book about how to catch foul balls. And he's got like rooms filled with foul balls, you know, in his house. And that is just, to me, an analogy for somebody who's like an over collector as opposed to somebody who just wants to put on a record. Okay.